Warning. Totally subjective and very long rant ahead. You've been warned. Hello there. I know it's not the usual content, but even I from time to time need to create something else to clear my head. I just hope you'll enjoy it. First things first, why is this video named so cryptingly/creepily? See, there's the type of video like Love Letter to, for example, a Love Letter to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines by Ragnar Rocks, link is in the description, that is about what that game is, with deep dive into every little nook and cranny of the things we know and feel about the game. I would love for this to be similar in nature, but as absolute noob in this type of content, as this is my first time making a video like that, I don't deem my incoherent rant good enough in any aspect to be called the same way. We're gonna be subjective as fuck here and quite literally drool over what Signalis is, how much I enjoyed it and why it will probably live rent-free in my head for years to come. I think it's the only way for me to move forward from that game, from my book hangover that it caused. Before you ask, book hangover is a term someone used in a comic that I read as a young fellow, and to quote said comic loosely translated by me, after finishing a great story, book, game, TV show, you can't focus on anything. World is on mute, you can't see people clearly, you can't hear them, you can't start anything else because nothing is capable of making you interested. Price of a great story. You need to recuperate from it. Have you ever played a game going in absolutely blind? Someone told you about it or sent you down the path of play this game but don't read about it. I'm sure someone did. This review on Steam immediately persuaded me that this is one of these. I mean, look at the thing. I just want to French smooch that reviewer because it hits that damn spot. Some of my friends actually sent me on such adventures. Especially one person who actually made my avatar. Yes, this thing I start every video with. So what other games will we put in that basket? Undertale, Doki Doki Literature Club, Transistor, Disco Elysium, or aiming for maybe a more AAA title, Nier Automata. There is more, but these come to mind right now. They have this one common thing in them. You are better going in unprepared and unknowing what it's about and what is happening. They have certain ephemeral beauty to them, and more often than not, you know it'll break your heart and tear at your soul strings. This time it wasn't a recommendation though, I was actually on Buru's site, if you know what it is, you know what it is. And I've seen this, yes, this is censored. I was curious as for from what it was, opened a Steam page for the character and then thought nothing of it. This might have been the end of this story, but obviously isn't. A few days later, our AI YouTube overlords picked me this song by, from what I can understand, some automatically made YouTube account from SoundCloud. I mean, I know it's a musician, but from what I could gather, it was on YouTube by some automated system. Anyway, listen to this for a while and tell me it doesn't bring up some melancholic, nostalgia-ridden feelings in you.
Have learned to walk, begun to crawl.
Quite good, right? And that, paired with the picture, meant that I had to check the reviews, and I found this gem I mentioned earlier. And I've checked the list, everything here is amazing. And, well, I wasn't just hooked, I was hooked, line and sinker and chomping half the damn fishing rod, as my good friend Talar would say.
Hook, line, sinker and a good bit of the rod as well.
Now we're getting to the most important part. What I liked about it. I mean, that bit alone could probably take hours, ask any of my friends who lent me an ear in the last weeks, but to keep it orderly and short-ish, I'd like to just number up all the good things about it near a wall, like its mass execution, and talk about them, even if it's for a few seconds. Firstly, there was nothing I didn't like about this game. Everything was, in its own way, amazing. Some nights of the last 2 weeks I couldn't sleep because I was thinking about this game. During that time, I've actually kept a very good sleep schedule, which is not normal for a gamer like me, let me tell you. Because I wanted to lie in bed thinking about it, and it actually made me sleep 8 hours a day. Because of this book hangover, I didn't play other games or watch anything. I actually woke up 3 days ago at 4:30 to take a leak. And I had to turn on PC, write some lore theory I had in my head, and only then I could go back to my sleep until my work alarm clock woke me up. This is what this game did to me. This is what it might do to you if you ask it gingerly and if it blushes and grabs you by your hand. Secondly, there will be major spoilers, so if you don't want that for obvious reasons, you should fuck off and play it. I mean it, if you can, experience it yourself. Because this shit's amazing. Now, after this bloated introduction, everything after this point assumes you experience the entire game and that you're here to drool over it with me. Enjoy. The usage of German and Japanese. Yeah, you know both are everywhere in this game. I don't know what it is about German that hits so hard. Considering what use a nation is, that could have been many other languages. I know it could have been chosen because authors are located in Hamburg, but it fits the bill very well, and for people who only lightly touched Deutsch years ago, like me, it felt like a great balance of something alien and unintelligible, yet something familiar and very stern. I'm probably biased, but this video is about my bias, so don't tell me these don't hit hard. Of course, usage of Lovecraft's The Festival quote multiple times when referring to earth spores and digging on a mining station is just mwah, for obvious reasons. One, Lovecraft is dope, and two, we're in eldritch horror game. That quote alone at the start of the game, for me, has set the tone. King in Yellow. Obvious choice. Every eldritch lover knows about Lovecraft's version of it, Hastur. Not many people are actually interested in what Lovecraft took it from. The original book written by Robert W. Chambers and released when Lovecraft was about 5 years old. Gods, when I saw that book, I mean, look at this. Fuck that! Anyone who knows what it is, fuck that. I'm not gonna fucking touch it. Yeah, you know what it does to people in universe of that book. This is one of the best foreshadowings I've seen anywhere. Putting that book from our world with this implication in there was a fantastic move. Oh, and the damn picture of who we're searching for. Even if you don't check your inventory right away, as I did, the fact that you show the picture to the star unit very early in chapter 1 shows that we're playing the long game here. That something fucky is happening. We might be different character, we might be the same character and reality might be warping, we might be going mad. Unreliable narrator can be such a treat in those games. It just heightens the tension of already weird situation. I questioned myself enough that I had to start a new game and check tutorial whether it was a fake memory in my brain or not. How many games subtly make you do something like that? Another thing, replicas aren't human, but are. This is a good theme I love anywhere. Example of this would be near androids. Something more human than humans, but at the same time less human than humans? That's a lot of humans. But I really loved the way they nicknamed from the set of numbers and a model to like more humane or human things, I guess. I mean, you can call a unit on a ship with you LSTR 512 or LSTR, but you can also change it to a name and like breathe soul into them by calling them Elster. All the replicas have this, as you probably know, and it is such a simple yet masterful thing to do. The rule of 6. In original Resident Evil, or so I heard, you had 6 slots for items. Here, you also have 6. And it heightens the stakes a bit, because you can't carry everything. You can't be ready for everything. But what hit me the most was the in-game explanation. Our lovely totalitarian regime literally requires you to have max of 6 items on yourself because private property is a privilege. This is such an amazing yet simple explanation for it. As a replica, you can't disobey this, probably, most likely. As a person, you probably can, but if someone checks your papers on the street for no reason, because, you know, totalitarian regime, they will have a pretext to arrest you. And at the same time, if you keep less than 6 items on you, you can be easily searched. This is such a great idea. I remember phoning over it for a good minute or two when I found that poster. This will be a short one. Clever naming. Like calling small ones Colibri, mining ones Mine, etc. is amazing. Also the design, also the differences between them, height, behavior, fetishes, not like that, fetish items, more like neural patterns and how they keep themselves sane and how it all plays into their corrupted versions. Reading that entire lore dump was good for my soul, or bad in a good way, but never apathetic. Red-eye inside of their own eyes is also cool. And by red-eye, of course, I mean this and this. Pick your own explanation. Maybe time for something mechanical. Ammo is scarce, it never respawns. You can only find bits and pieces, but enemies you kill and not torch can always revive. And for torching, you require another item, which is in even shorter supply than ammo. First time I've seen this revive, I was pretty sure it was a scripted event, but no, it just happens randomly. And you find a note about this when you first find thermite required to torch them. It's such an easy solution for people being trigger happy and not survival horror-y, I guess. But it worked marvels. Even before that, I only shot enemies when I had to, but after this, I tried not to shoot enemies in a very narrow corridors, where I went through all the time backtracking. Marvels. Flashing cutscenes. I know it's weird to like that, but my favorite anime of all time is Monogatari, and all its subsequent parts, so this felt like such a welcome home thing. I was smiling from ear to ear. Of course it's cool they made those flashing scenes a bit longer so you could read it. You can't pause a damn game in a cutscene compared to, you know, watching anime somewhere. But these were readable and just... I don't know, I liked it, don't fucking judge me. Oh, and a space left intentionally blank. Same thing, also Monogatari thing. That also struck a chord. Or violent scene missing. I just fucking love those. All of the homages to various anime and other media. I mean, there's way too many to remember, but it all felt like I changed back to a child, going in some of these stories again. It was great, nostalgic feeling. Not many games can pull this off in such a good way. I don't know how they managed making game with this many homages, and it didn't become a meme. Maybe it's just good. Retrofuturism. Here is a word of the day for you. I've heard this term first time about Fallout games, where you have technology more advanced than us, but a lot of norms stopped around 1950s of our time. Whether it be clothing, ads, mentality, morals, electronics, because technology went into different tech tree, I guess, or other things. I was wondering about that a lot in Signalis, until I found a note explaining it in vivid detail. Because bioresonance is a thing, and it's basically magic, technological research stopped almost entirely. This is one of the simplest, yet again, very good explanation of it. Look at any fantasy world. Do you know why they don't have AR-15s? Because magic is easier and can do so much more, while requiring half the hassle. First-person perspective bits. Every puzzle or item or room I could interact in detail with, that put me in the first person was such a great fucking feast. It brought very heavy immersion and feeling of tinkering with something I probably shouldn't, although maybe I should because Elster is technically engineer. I don't know why, but I remember all of these very well even now. Something in this way of showing it felt the same as how cyberpunk dialogue hit different because of the first-person perspective. That of course includes all the visions we have. Those are dope as well. And the fact that we constantly break in them rules of logic and reason are also bits I loved. Like, you know, picking up a key from a video cassette that you just watched. Nowhere. Ah, that was a place. I still recall the moment I realized that place has no map, like previous mines, and I was like, I can do that. Then I opened the first fucking door going left and came out from the left side, defying any sense of direction. And I was like, these little fuck. Yeah, not only was it amazing lore-wise, proving that reality here is even more fucked than anywhere else, but making it harder to remember paths. Great design. Ending. Ending was quite good. Of course, I immediately jumped at the idea of other ones. So I checked the wiki and the entire mechanism that chooses ending is dope. I won't go into detail to not bore you, but even little things like grabbing door handles to match could mean that you want to leave and run away, and it will change the ending. It's good design in my opinion. Not every game can, nor should, do this, but game like this was a very good choice. So that's the list. All the little things I drooled over during my gameplay. Well, not all, otherwise we'd be here like 11 hours and change. I actually think this game will live rent-free in my brain for a while, or like some others, until the day I die. I know, bold words, but some stories are like that. And when you've decided your entire life will be about stories, well, they kind of matter. And in the future, maybe this will be the only proof that I've played this game and how I felt about it. You'd never know what future holds. I just wanted a memorabilia, you could say, that I've played this game. Sorry for getting all mushy. But I do not know how to end this video, so let me jokingly say that if you survived until now, you deserve a little colibri in your life. I know I mostly created this video so I could free myself from the madness curse that this game has put in my brain, but if you liked it, it's the first time I'm actually going to ask you to leave a like. Simply so I know whether I did a good job for this, first time making such a video. I may make another one of these then, when next game like that stumbles into my backyard. But for now, I just hope you drooled over this game as much as I did. Have a good one. Tschüss.